Ashley Madison is a site devoted to, maybe let's call it the wandering eye. Anyone who potentially is thinking about having an affair can go on the site, sign up, and find someone else who's interested. So this is a site that's been very controversial, but at the end of the day, it has millions of users, so a lot of people are interested. About a month ago, hackers threatened to release lots of personal information. They said they were able to breach the servers, they were able to hack and get very valuable, sensitive user data, and they gave a warning. They said, if you don't shut down the site, we are going to post all of this data. Hackers made good on that promise and decided to do a huge data dump. We're talking 10 gigabytes on the dark web, 33 million accounts, 36 million email addresses. So when we were sorting through the data, we saw 15,000 .gov.military emails. Now you gotta take this with a grain of salt because a lot of folks make up their email addresses when they're signing up for the site because it's obviously a sensitive site. But what they can't make up was also released, which is payment information that reveals very, very telling things like your home address, your phone number. They were also able to get quite a bit of internal data from the company. We're looking at bank account information, internal memos. I spoke to one security researcher who said hackers essentially owned the servers. They did a ton of damage.
Before you say the last part, let's talk about what Pornhub is right about. And they are definitely right that submitting your government ID online to some random patchwork of verification systems, because man, let me tell you, if U.S. tax code is anything to go by, this is going to be an absolute shit show.
Coincidence? I think not!
You know, sometimes you got to ask yourself, what do these people, what kind of education do some of these people have? What kind of research have they done when they go into these laws that they put on the books that are supposed to help the American public, but yet they put laws that violate the Constitution or basically hurt the general public as far as the economy, hurt people's job prospects, hurting the entertainment industry, the artistic endeavors of people who work in it. And I call whatever part of the industry you're in, if you're making movies, TV series, videos, content creation, porn movies, that's all artistic, you know. And I hear the same thing from a couple of people. They say, how's porn art? Porn can't be art. Porn has been art for many years. Not everything, but a good chunk of it. And for the reason is, it basically, there are things out there. For example, the horror industry is getting a good boost this year as far as Hollywood, but also porn movies are taking the same example and creating some really artistic porn endeavors into the horror genre of the industry. There are a couple of horror films that are coming out. There's even one entire studio dedicated, you know, as much as you might think it's a little, how can we call it, a little sickening as far as how they do it. But when you look at it from a perspective of, say, of a horror film, say a Hollywood horror film, it's kind of almost brilliant in one way because of there are movies out there that have done something similar, but not as graphic as those particular movies in the porn industry are doing, but it has been done on the other end. But we're going to leave that for another video, and we're going to have a video on that very soon. We'll probably have that during the summer vacation. We'll have a discussion on the horror film take in the porn industry. But one thing is, and you're going to hear some names out there, and especially you're going to hear people like Senator Bill Stanley, Governor Glenn Youngkin, and many others that have put themselves on the forefront to shut down the porn industry. But meanwhile, you know, some of these people are chastising a movie like Sound of Freedom, who basically is showing that there is a major child trafficking rings out there which have to be stopped, but they touted as being conspiracy theory, QAnon. You see this out of Rolling Stone and many other outlets. But back in 2014, they were praising his name, Tim Ballard's name, on there in the media. What happened between them and now? You're wondering who's behind all this, really, truly. But like I said, you know, you got the Virginia law that has gotten out recently, and we're going to discuss a little bit into this. I just wanted to take this moment to thank all of you for clicking on this video. If you haven't yet, hit that like, share this video with friends, family, enemies, and hopefully today I've earned your subscription. And for those of you already subscribed, please make sure you are still subscribed, as YouTube tends to remove subscriptions from time to time. And remember, if you wish to help support this channel, there are several links in the description below, including a merch shop with new anime themed shirts and mugs now available. Once again, thank you for your support, and make sure you hit that notification bell to make sure you receive all our notifications on Cuticast TV and all of our programming across all of our social media platforms. Thank you once again. Senator Bill Stanley, if you haven't heard his name yet, you know Governor Glenn Youngkin, because basically who hasn't, during the elections, he won a contest election on there. But Bill Stanley is the author of the age verification law that basically shut down Pornhub, that Pornhub had to shut down in the Commonwealth. And basically, his take to the industry, but how he says it is the interesting thing. Because, you know, and here's the thing. They don't straight out say pornography. They don't say porn. They don't say nudity. They say adult content. Now, if you Google adult content on there, dictionaries have changed their definition and have added pornography to it. But originally what adult content was anything that was geared for adults. R-rated movies are adult content. PG movies can be adult content. There are movies online that are like Red Shoe Diaries and a couple of others that are not really classified as porn, but can be, has a between an R to an NR rate, or NC-17, which that's what it is. Well, it used to be NR. It has an NC-17 rating on it. Are they going to ban that as well? Probably, most likely. Because this is what they write in the law. The laws are very vague when it comes to this. And this is where the constitutional part of it becomes dangerous to the Constitution. Not only that, basically, of the content, also the verification law can put your identity and your family's identities in the hands of criminals very easily. Your own facial recognition, your social security, your credit card, your driver's license, depending on which system they use to verify you. But let's read into this out of XBiz. Virginia State Senator Bill Stanley, author of the age verification law, which resulted in Pornhub having to shut down access in the Commonwealth, defended the controversial, vague worded mandate and claimed that all adult websites are harmful because the content is not normal. Adult websites. Remember what he says, not porn, adult websites. Remember, it's by the words. That's what you got to be careful, because they don't specifically say. They could say, like, say for example, they wanted to ban action movies. They would say action websites or action movie websites directly like that, but they're saying adult websites when they mean by that. That's just giving you an example. When they're saying but people would say like, well, isn't adult porn? It's like, yeah, adult is porn, but a lot of other things are as well. You have kid websites, okay? There are kid websites out there which has cartoons and fun games and stuff like that. If someone wanted to ban that, they just say kids websites. Stanley, an attorney and professional politician with no known expertise on human sexuality or psychology, shared his notions about porn with local outlet WTOP News for a piece penned by Luke Garrett on the backlash against Virginia's unpopular SB 1515. Stanley's bill was signed by Governor Glenn Youngkin in May and went into effect July 1st. That same day, that similar bill went into effect in Mississippi. And the thing about it is, X-Hamster has completely shut down all access unless you age verify throughout the country, throughout the U.S. If you haven't seen that happening, go ahead and click on X-Hamster. As Xmix reported, FSC, Free Speech Coalition, described the new Virginia law as extremely vague regarding the method sites can use to comply, questioning its references to a commercially available database that is regularly used by the businesses or governmental entities for the purpose of the age and identity verification of another commercially reasonable method of age and identity verification. The day before the law went into effect, Pornhub decided to shut down its access to the platform in Virginia and Mississippi, explaining that the new state laws are drafted with the cooperation of groups, of course, Morality Media, that have targeted the site, specifically those avowed goal is to eradicate pornography, present too much risk. Pornhub previously following the same strategy in Utah, shutting down site access in that state when another copycat version of the original Louisiana law that set the pattern for current Republican anti-porn thefts efforts nationwide went into effect there. Like I said, this, people say like, well, that I'm a conservative and stuff like that. No, I criticize both sides of the aisle. Understand that. This is coming from a mixture of the Republican and Democratic parties when it comes to this. Stanley told WTOP News that he was surprised at the backlash from his constituents and claimed that his family has received threats over the authorship of the law. It's like, dude, why am I getting these threats? Stanley said in a mocking tone. Because you now have to put your name and address or an ID to access the internet, bro. I mean, seriously, your porn is that important to you. It's not that it's the porn, Stanley. It's that you have to enter your information, your own personal information, to access a site that you should not, you shouldn't have to out yourself that way. It's your own personal thing. You're at home on your computer, and that's your own personal business. Then state senator then theorized that the adult sites are harmful in the sense of body shaming issues, developing proper relationships, what is normal, because what is on those websites is not normal. Body shaming? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you freak? Oh my God. This is the funny thing about this. One thing about the adult industry, when it comes to body, we have all shapes and sizes. We have the very thin to the very fat. We have people who are handicapped. Basically, they're missing a limb. You have all variations of people in the industry, and nobody has a problem with that. This is not one end of the spectrum that basically saying all these models, these thin women with large breasts and stuff like that. No, they are there, But you have women, regular girls, all you got to do is go on OnlyFans and many other things, and you will see always there are a large variation. Stanley, a Ted Cruz-aligned Republican who has been in the Virginia legislature for 12 years. Again, this is the reason why we need to have term limits. Originally ran on the notoriety as a member of Paula Jones' legal team in the 1990s that made the public the sexual allegations against Bill Clinton ridiculed. The potential constitutional challenge to his vague worded law by vowing to keep reintroducing it even if it's struck down. Hopefully it won't be challenged, Stanley told WTOP. Yeah, it is going to be challenged. But if it is, I hope that it passes the constitutional muster. It will not. If it doesn't, for some reason in the bill, I'll be back next year to change it and put it back where it is. This is what I'm telling you, folks. If you live in Virginia, vote this guy out of office. Get him the fuck out. He is not a constitutional politician. Free Speech Coalition Director of Public Affairs Mike Stable told WTOP that Stanley's law is flagrantly unconstitutional, noting that the adult content is legal speech. Stable said, "You may not like pornography, you may be personally opposed to it, but I think everyone should be concerned about the government's coming in and saying certain legal speech is subjected to greater restriction than other types of speech." The sponsor of the Arkansas copycat bill, Senator Tyler Dees, admitted in February that the state-by-state age verification initiatives are merely a stepping stone toward the ultimate goal of a federal mandate. My hope is that we protect children and their innocence in the state of Arkansas and then send a message across the country that we need something similar built into the federal law as well, Dees declared. FSC has called the current Republican campaign against adult material online, including the copy age verification schemes, the most aggressive censorship we've seen in decades. And that's correct. This is not helping the children. This is not going on to help children because kids, and I'll tell you this, here's the surprise, kids are not going to Xhamster or to Pornhub or to Xvideos to get their porn. What is the number one website or social media site for young adults? TikTok. Yes, that's right. TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. And guess what's on there too? There's porn on there. Are they going to ban those sites? Are they going to sit there and try to ban those social media platforms? Hard to say. But I'll tell you this. TikTok has always been a danger, and I've always said this. Note that a lot of the stuff on TikTok should not be there. Understand that. It violates their code of conduct on their site. But they don't give a shit. You've had people die of their TikTok challenge. What they're going after and saying, well, children are watching Pornhub at a massive rate. How do you know that? Do you have that info? Do you have that information that they are on those sites? I don't think so. You might have every once in a while, someone might accidentally get clicked on there, directed from another site, which that should not be happening. A redirect, you have to, and this comes from the home parents, you need to put securities in place so that does not happen. Blockouts that basically will warn you or will not redirect you, will block those sites from coming into play. That's when it will happen. On the other hand, you have those of them watching stuff on, and I've seen it on Twitter. Believe me, I've seen it on Twitter and I've seen it on Instagram as well. I do not partake in TikTok. I refuse to that because that belongs to China. and you know that basically they steal your information. So tell me in the comments below your thoughts about this. And be understanding that things like this happen. You have people always constantly challenging the Constitution for the reason that their own political agenda is pushed forward. This is where you know the difference between someone who's going to protect the Constitution or people who are going to try to take it apart or violate the Constitution. And I'll tell you, between 2019 to 2023, the biggest violations of the Constitution has occurred more than years past. We're seeing this from the bottom to all the way up to the President of the United States, Joseph Biden, who's now fighting a judgment that basically he's been told that that his offices, the DOJ and the FBI, cannot go into social media and tell them what to censor, because that's what they're doing. And now they're going out to basically to get the judgment annulled, which basically violates the Constitution. That's what they want to do, violate the First Amendment. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that like. Don't forget to share this video. Hit that notification bell, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. So until next time, do check out our other videos during the week. Don't forget to check out the Fast Five every Monday around noon Eastern. So until next time, thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.